Even Simon Cowell couldn't hold his tears, loudly crying, face broken heart, 10-year-old's golden buzzer magic. From the moment little Mateo Santiago stepped onto the America's Got Talent stage, something felt different, like the air itself paused to listen. At just 10 years old, with a shy smile and hands nervously clasped together, he looked like any other child. But behind those gentle eyes was a storm of memories, love, and courage waiting to be heard. And no one, not even Simon Cowell, was prepared for what would happen next. Mateo had traveled from a small town in New Jersey with his grandmother, Lola Rosa, the woman who had raised him since he was 4. His mother, a nurse, had passed away unexpectedly while serving in a relief mission overseas, and his father had struggled for years to keep their little family afloat. Through every hardship, every quiet night, every moment of fear and uncertainty, it was Lola Rosa who stood by him, singing him to sleep, whispering hope into his heart, and teaching him that kindness was a choice, even when life was unfair. Backstage, producers whispered about how calm he seemed, but what they didn't know was that Mateo wasn't calm at all. He was terrified of disappointing the one person who had given him everything. He could still recall his grandmother's words that morning, "Sing with your heart, hijo. Not to win, but to heal." And so when he stepped into that bright circle of light on stage, he carried her love with him like armor. "Hello, sweetheart," Sofia Vergara said warmly. "What's your name?" "Ma, Mateo," he whispered, his voice almost trembling. "And what will you be singing for us today?" Simon asked, leaning forward with his familiar piercing gaze. Mateo swallowed hard. "A song, for someone I love." The audience softened. The judges exchanged looks. But no one expected the earthquake of emotion that was about to hit them. The music began, soft, delicate piano chords. Mateo lifted the microphone with both hands, as if it were something sacred. And then, he sang. His voice was pure and angelic, but what struck everyone wasn't the sound, it was the emotion. He sang a song about home, about loss, about holding on to the people who lift us even when the world tries to break us. He sang about his mother's courage and his grandmother's unconditional love. Every lyric felt like a confession. Every note trembled with truth. Halfway through, the room went silent, not the usual talent show silence, but a deep, reverent stillness, like every person felt the same ache, the same longing, at the same time. Then came the first unexpected moment. In the third verse, his voice cracked, but he didn't stop. He placed a hand on his chest, blinked back tears, and kept singing. The vulnerability in that moment was so powerful that several people in the front row began crying. Heidi Klum placed a hand over her heart. Sophia whispered, "Oh my God." And Simon, the man known for his unshakable composure, slowly leaned back, blinking rapidly. No one understood what was happening until a single tear slid down his cheek. Camera operators zoomed in. The audience gasped. Simon Cowell was crying. But the second unexpected turn came at the very end. As Mateo hit the final note, a soft, almost whispered farewell, the crowd rose instantly, erupting into applause. The judges stood. It was a standing ovation unlike any other. Yet instead of smiling proudly, Mateo looked down at his hands and whispered, "I hope she heard me." Simon cleared his throat, trying to steady his voice. "Mateo, can you tell us who the song was for?" "My mom," he said. "And for my grandma, because she taught me to be brave. Even when it hurts." That was the moment Lola Rosa, sitting backstage, covered her face and sobbed quietly. She had always told Mateo to be strong, but she had never imagined he would one day show the entire world what true strength looked like. Simon stood up, slowly, deliberately. His face was soft, raw, almost vulnerable. "Mateo," he said, his voice breaking, "some performances are about talent. Some are about entertainment. But once in a very long while, a performance becomes a gift." He paused, his eyes glistening again. Thank you for reminding all of us what love sounds like." And with that, Simon reached forward and slammed the golden buzzer. The theater exploded in gold confetti. Mateo gasped, covering his mouth with both hands as tears poured down his cheeks. Lola Rosa ran out from backstage, wrapping him in the tightest embrace, a moment that felt like the world healing itself in real time. But something else happened that no one expected. A young girl from the audience rushed to the front, holding a small bouquet of daisies. Security hesitated, but Simon waved them off. The girl handed the flowers to Mateo and said, "Your song made me think of my dad. He passed last year. Thank you, for helping me remember him in a good way." Mateo didn't hesitate. He stepped forward and hugged her gently. That simple act of kindness, two children comforting each other in front of millions, became the moment that defined the night. It was a reminder that grief doesn't isolate us, it connects us. That even in our darkest moments, we are never truly alone. As the golden confetti rained down, Simon whispered into his mic, this is why we do this show." And the world agreed. A 10-year-old boy had just reminded millions that love lasts, kindness matters, and even the smallest voice can create the biggest impact.